So this is the change that I'm instigating in my career. I think if we all engage in business with a social agenda, like I said, the social needs of a community should inform its economic activities. If our activities is business, yeah, J Mar's an artist with his own equipment, who has other entrepreneurial instincts. First of all, you're not as state dependent. You don't need the government to tell you what to do or to, like get into your business too tough. Secondly, you're contributing to the economy. So you, as your business grows, will generate jobs. You feel me? Thirdly, you're figuring out more about yourself. And this is a crucial thing. The work that you do has to actually enrich you as a human being. I believe that. Because there are people that have said what I'm saying. There was a whole school of thought in the 1980s, neoliberalism, Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan saying that business will take care of everything. But the thing is, their kind of business was just anything. It's like, who's got it? Who's like, and the downside of that is people get exploited. So if you build a business that is all about feeding into people and enriching you as a human being, then you're going to be in a position to build your community. And if everyone in the community has their own thing that they're passionate about, that allows them to explain to their children who they are, why they are, pass on a business to them, you know what I'm saying, eliminate their dependency on the state, bro, I just feel like we'd have a really and truly a more, I think business like education is a form of self-defense. So you just have a more robust electorate.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting thing you've said, even the idea of that we form our own microeconomy where, even here, the podcast, the people that I've got here today, and even the brand that we're collaborating with on this podcast, it's like we all come from the same kind of communities, the same kind of space, and the content is for people from that space. And it's we create the content, they consume it, we make our money from them, however, and then we put it back into what we're creating. So, it's
and as they watch these podcasts, they feel good.
Exactly.
As you progress on this journey, you feel good.
Yes.
Come on, man.
It's good. Yeah, it's an interesting way of thinking about it, I guess. The idea of linking the economic side of it so closely to the social side of it.
Bro, you can't go wrong. And it's mad because I kind of had this vague idea for about 5 years. But now I'm finding other people who have been arguing that for time. Just this morning I was reading an article about an economist called Mariana Mazzucato, who I've actually met. She's an amazing woman. A while ago, she wrote a book. In 2013, she wrote a book called The Entrepreneurial State, which is all about the potential of the economy if the government was to really take seriously investment in people's ability to build their own businesses and pursue their own interests. But right now, we have government, the way this government works and most rich governments work is like, they are there to pay for things, like pay for the NHS or give people procurement contracts. Like I'll contract them lot for like all the technology and the whatever across the NHS, for example. And it's like, are you creating value by just paying for services that people already offer?
Right.
Or are you just moving around the value in the existing status quo? So yeah, there's bare people that have been thinking and writing about this very deeply. And I love that because really, I got this idea from hip hop.
Okay.
It's just pre and hip hop and just understanding that me telling my story will put money in my pocket and make someone else feel good and motivate me to continue doing it. And the government didn't do that for man. That's what really made me think, everyone can do that in every industry if you really put your mind to it.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about others talking about this idea because at least in the international development scene over the last couple of years, there's been a big focus on social entrepreneurship, how they title it. And it's the idea that, you can give aid in a sense, you can give whatever supplies a certain community may need, or you can give them a certain type of skill set, invest in them, give them microfinance, microloans, something like that,
Yeah.
and allow them to become almost independent, which is going to be more helpful because, aid is not sustainable.
Blood, everyone wins.
And obviously this is a different context, like being, it's not an international thing, but the theory behind it is the same.
To be honest, I was saying this to someone last night. Big ideas emerge all around the world at certain times.
Yes.
Because we're all going through similar stuff.
It's very true.
So yeah, that like the microfinance example that you give, my brother-in-law's got a microfinance business in Uganda, and he's like, yo, them people pay. You give poorer people small loans of like £20 for the whole month. Not only do they respect you and love you, they honor the payment, bro. The father of social business, a man called, as far as I'm aware, a Bangladeshi man called Muhammad Yunus.
Yeah.
I hope I haven't.
He started the one.
You remember him, innit?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Cause I ain't thought about him in years. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember what the name of the bank is.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was the
pioneered
microfinance,
innit? Yeah, my man. His story as well. Like, I think, was it him that was focusing on women in the village?
That I was just about to ask if they do the same in Uganda.
Yeah, I mean,
microfinance.
You can do again. Whatever you want to do, whatever your passion is, you can do that however you want. Like, so if his microfinance focuses on women, I'm sure someone else can just focus on agricultural producers or factory workers. You know the ones there. So it's like, are we all gonna sit around and wait for the government to tell us that, like, they're gonna invest in our youth centers again? When it's like, nah, man, hip hop. Just look at hip hop. Look at gigs in Wembley last night. Look at Krypton Koda did O2 the night before. It's
really incredible.
Come on, man. Government couldn't have done that for us. We got to crack it.
Especially, like, obviously you're from the generation where you've grown up when the scene was at its bare bones, just starting. So to see that the state that it's in now, honestly, it's incredible. Like, a lot of our younger viewers might take it for granted that this has always existed. But it didn't. It's only come to be fruition in maybe even less than a decade, maybe even the last 5 years. Or so.
You like 10 years ago, a big moment for us, or the big music for us, was not the music of the streets, as in like the commercially successful music. Shouts out to everyone that was doing their thing because they got us here. But it's like we just knew that in order to really, really get money from music, you just had to stop being you, like, in the music.
For real.
You had to act like what other people wanted to see or sound like what other people wanted to hear. But now, and that's what I'm saying, the government couldn't do that for man. The government couldn't create a genre if they tried.
No, they couldn't.
It's
I'm sure they've tried.
I'm sure they've tried
somewhere, and I'm sure they failed.
Bro, like, and in my podcast, there's one episode 17, where I go through jazz, doo-wop, R&B, ska music, rocksteady, and I just like analyze the fact that all of these movements that went on to become multi-billion-dollar industries were started by young black kids that didn't have no money, and they were more time making music because it's the thing that came easiest. If stocks and shares was information that was floating around in their community,
right,
they would be into stocks and shares, bro.
100%. 100%. There's a great sense of entrepreneurship in our communities, as everyone knows, but it's just having the access to the particular information that's going to allow you to progress and succeed
straight
in the best possible way.
Facts.